What if I told you that in just 60 seconds, you could plant your greatest desire directly into the most powerful part of your mind, the one that turns thoughts into reality? It sounds impossible, but it isn't. There is a breathing technique taught by Neville Goddard that can change everything, and you're going to learn how to use it right now, here with me. Forget everything you've heard about manifestation. It's not just about repeating phrases or thinking positive. We're talking about something deeper, a direct connection with your subconscious, the true creator of your reality. And when you do it the right way, you feel the exact moment your desire is accepted by the universe. Breathing, feeling, and intention. That's the formula. And before we begin, write this in the comments. My reality has already been planted. This is not just a phrase, it's a sign of faith, a vibration of trust. Let's activate this together. To understand why this technique works, we need to look at one of the greatest researchers of human consciousness, Jacobo Grinberg. A Mexican scientist and researcher, Grinberg dedicated decades to studying the mind, perception, and the unified field of reality. According to his theories, the world we live in is not something fixed, but a projection shaped by the structure of our consciousness. In other words, reality is not created outside of you, it is created from within you. Grinberg believed the subconscious acts as an energetic filter that interprets and projects whatever is most deeply rooted inside us. And that is why intense feelings have more power to manifest than simple thoughts or words. This view perfectly echoes Neville Goddard's teachings, who said the real secret of manifestation is to feel as if it were already real. To achieve this, he developed a method called rhythmic impregnation breathing, a simple but extremely powerful process that uses breath and emotion to seal a desire into the subconscious. In this video, we're going to unite these two visions, Grinberg's vibrational science and Goddard's emotional practice, to guide you through a transformative experience in just 60 seconds. For decades, we've been told that positive thinking is the key to attracting what we want. Phrases like "believe you can" or "affirm what you want every day" are repeated as mantras in the self-development world. And while there's value in that, this approach, on its own, rarely produces real, lasting results. Why? Because the subconscious doesn't understand words. It responds to the vibration carried by those words. Imagine someone saying, "I am rich," dozens of times a day, but at the same time feeling fear, insecurity, and doubt. What does the subconscious absorb? Fear, lack, doubt, because that is the real language being spoken. And since the subconscious is what filters and projects your reality, it will manifest exactly what was felt, not what was said. This is one of the greatest truths ignored by those trying to manifest change. Positive thinking without positive feeling is like trying to plant a seed in dry soil. The idea is there, but there's no energy to sustain it. And that's why so many people get frustrated. They do everything right on the surface. Repeat affirmations, make vision boards, follow gratitude routines. But inside, they're still trapped in the same old emotions: fear, anxiety, urgency, disbelief. The subconscious is like a vault. It keeps everything you feel as truth. If you feel it's hard to change your life, it records that as law. If you feel undeserving, it engraves that command and adjusts your perception of reality so that you experience things that confirm that belief. And this process happens automatically, effortlessly, all the time. In his studies of the neuronal field, Jacobo Grinberg showed that objective reality is not absolute. It is shaped by internal filters of perception that come directly from our vibrational state. This means the quality of your feelings is the true mold of your life. And this explains why some people seem to attract opportunities naturally, while others, no matter how hard they try, feel like they're always swimming against the current. Positive thinking, therefore, is just a step. not the destination. What transforms is feeling in alignment with what you desire. And to achieve that, we need techniques that help us intentionally create this vibrational state. That's where the power of breath comes in. Have you ever noticed why fear has so much power over your life? Just one thought, a vague idea about something that hasn't even happened, can make the body react as if danger were real. The heart races, breathing changes, muscles tense. All of this without any physical event happening. That proves one thing: your body doesn't wait for reality to occur to feel. It feels first, based on imagination. And that is exactly what Neville Goddard taught. Feeling is the secret. The subconscious doesn't respond to logic, nor to pretty words. It responds to the vibration your body emits. And that vibration is generated by emotion. When you truly feel something, your energy field aligns with that feeling and begins to emit signals that reorganize your reality around that new frequency. This is not a mystical or abstract idea. Science has a name for it: heart-brain coherence. Studies show that when you feel elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, or love, your brain synchronizes with your heart's rhythm, creating an ideal state for healing, focus, and manifestation. It's as if your body tells the universe, "I am ready, I'm already living this." But most people do the opposite. They wait for reality to change before allowing themselves to feel. They wait to have money before feeling safe. They wait to achieve a dream before feeling grateful. They wait to receive love before feeling loved. But the universe doesn't work that way. It responds to the frequency you are already emitting now, not what you hope for in the future. If you want security, you must feel it first. If you want love, you must vibrate love. If you want abundance, you must connect with the sensation of already having it. This is where most manifestation attempts fail, because emotions remain tied to what's outside, while true creative power is inside. And that's why breath becomes an essential tool. It allows you to access the body, calm the nervous system, and consciously generate an emotional state aligned with your desire. When you combine deep breathing, vivid mental images, and real emotions, the subconscious understands it as truth. It accepts it, records it, and begins working silently to transform your reality from that new vibrational code. You've already done this without realizing it. You've been moved by a movie, cried at a memory, smiled at a simple thought. That proves you can feel something deeply even without a physical stimulus. The difference now is that we will use this intentionally. In the next step, you'll discover how to use breathing as a direct channel to enter this vibrational state. Get ready, because this is where your body and mind begin to speak the same language. And that's when the miracle happens. Breathing is so natural that we often forget the power it holds. It is the only physiological process that happens both automatically and consciously. And that is exactly why it becomes the perfect bridge between the rational world and the subconscious world. When you breathe shallow and fast, as usually happens in moments of anxiety or stress, you're feeding an inner state of alert and contraction. Your body activates survival mode. And in that state, the subconscious doesn't take in new commands. It just repeats old patterns because it believes it's safer to stick with what's familiar. But when you breathe deeply, slowly, and rhythmically, another process is activated. The parasympathetic nervous system takes over, generating relaxation, openness, and receptivity. It is in this state that the subconscious becomes accessible and flexible. Through breathing, it's as if you're telling your mind, "It's okay, now we can create something new." Jacobo Grinberg studied how states of consciousness influence perception of reality and pointed out that in certain moments, like right before sleep or during meditation, the rational mind dissolves and the neuronal field connects directly with what he called the informational mesh, the invisible fabric that shapes what we call the physical world. Breathing, when used with intention, is a way to access this in-between state. Neville Goddard understood this intuitively. His manifestation technique of rhythmic impregnation breathing is based exactly on this principle, using breath rhythm to bring the body into an ideal vibrational state and, at the same time, loading that state with a powerful feeling and a clear mental image. And why does this work? Because the subconscious doesn't understand time in a linear way. For it, there is no past, present, or future. There is only the state you are vibrating now. When you breathe deeply and steadily while feeling and visualizing intensely, the subconscious accepts it as real. It doesn't distinguish between an imagined desire and a lived experience. It only records the emotion. That's why this technique is not just a quick meditation. It is an intentional vibrational coding. Deep breathing carries emotion into the body. Emotion carries desire into the subconscious, and the subconscious carries that new frequency into the universe. By applying this process, you're not just calming your mind, you're opening a direct pathway between your desire and the invisible structure of reality. And it all begins with a simple act. Inhale with intention, exhale with surrender. Now that you understand the role of breathing, let's explore how the technique taught by Neville Goddard can turn this knowledge into practice. Neville Goddard went straight to the point when he discovered what truly causes manifestation. The feeling lived in the present, sealed in the subconscious with breath and intention. The technique he called rhythmic impregnation breathing is simple but profound. It has only 3 phases, each designed to communicate your desire with precision to the creative center of your mind. The first phase is conscious rhythm. Here you begin by breathing slowly, deeply, and in a controlled way. The goal is not to energize the body, but to calm it. Inhale through the nose, hold for 2 seconds, and exhale gently through the mouth. This pattern activates the relaxation system and prepares the ground for reprogramming. At this point, your mind begins to leave beta noise, the frequency of logic and agitation, and enters slower brainwaves like alpha, the ideal state for communication with the subconscious. The second phase is emotional visualization. During the breathing, you must visualize a scene that represents your desire fulfilled. It's not about imagining from a distance, but seeing yourself already inside the experience. If your desire is health, see yourself full of energy, moving freely. If it's prosperity, picture yourself calmly checking your bank account. If it's love, feel the touch, the gaze, the connection, but above all, feel. The image is just the channel. What seals the command is the emotion within it. Love, gratitude, joy, fulfillment, these are the keys to the subconscious language. The third phase is the peak and sealing. Here you take the deepest breath of all. Draw the air in with all your intention, as if you were inhaling the miracle itself. Hold for a few seconds, and at that instant, visualize the scene with maximum intensity. This is the fusion point between image, emotion, and physiology. The subconscious is completely open. Then, as you exhale, you release. Not just the air, but all doubt, all fear, all resistance. You hand over to the universe and your subconscious the task of materializing what has already been accepted within. This technique works because it involves body, mind, and emotion at the same time. It's not a request, it's a vibrational statement that says, "This is already mine." The secret is not force, but emotional clarity. A minute may seem short, but when used with precision and presence, it's more than enough to create a new program. Neville said, "Feel it as real, and that feeling will create the facts." The rhythmic breathing technique is the most direct path to that. And when done correctly, you sense, not intellectually but energetically, the exact moment your desire is accepted by your inner field. Now that you know the practice, let's explore the most subtle and powerful moment of all, the instant when you must let go and trust. because without that, nothing blossoms. There is a silent, almost imperceptible moment when everything changes. It's not when you wish, not when you visualize. It's when you feel so deeply that your body believes it's already real. And in that instant, the desire is sealed in the subconscious. This is the true golden moment. The subconscious works like the fertile soil of your reality, but it only accepts seeds that come charged with genuine emotion. Empty words don't penetrate. Loose thoughts don't take root. But intense feelings congruent with the new reality have absolute power. And this is where most people fail. They make affirmations, breathe, visualize, but deep down still feel this isn't quite it. That subtle doubt is enough to neutralize the whole process. Sealing a desire in the subconscious is like planting a magical seed. It doesn't need shouting or effort. It needs presence, certainty, and surrender. When you reach that state with the breathing technique, you know there's a pause, a shiver, a silence full of meaning, as if something has been accepted, as if a new reality has begun to vibrate within you. Neville Goddard called this the climax of imagination. He said it's not enough to visualize something. You must feel the ecstasy of already having lived it. That feeling doesn't need to last long. 1 second of pure conviction is worth more than hours of anxious wanting. Because in that second, the vibration of body, mind, and soul align perfectly with the desired outcome. And that is enough for the subconscious to say, "It is done." Jacobo Grinberg described this moment as a fusion between perception and vibrational structure. In other words, when inner perception and the energetic mesh of the neuronal field come into coherence, reality begins to reorganize. But this reorganization isn't immediately visible to the physical eyes. It's like planting a seed in dark soil. On the outside, nothing has changed, but inside it has already begun to sprout. This is where the great challenge comes in, resisting the urge to doubt, to undo the process with fear, anxiety, or haste. Once the desire is sealed, your job is no longer to force. It's to maintain the vibrational state with faith and consistency. To keep feeling as if it's already true, even with no external proof. This is when reality begins to quietly bend to the new frequency you've installed. That golden moment only comes when you stop the inner struggle. When you stop asking and start thanking. When you stop waiting and start living as if it's already yours. And when that happens, the universe has no choice but to respond. Now that you understand how to seal the desire, it's time to discover the most overlooked and perhaps most powerful part of the entire technique: letting go. After the whole process, breathing, visualization, deep emotion, there's one final step that separates those who manifest successfully from those who stay stuck in frustration: letting go. And ironically, this is where most people sabotage everything. Wanting is natural, visualizing is powerful, feeling is essential. But doubting after planting the desire is like digging up the soil every day to check if the seed is sprouting. Doubt interrupts the process. The anxiety of seeing it happen denies faith. And the fear it won't work shows that deep down, the mind is still connected to lack, not fulfillment. Neville Goddard was emphatic on this point. The feeling of already having is incompatible with the habit of constantly checking if it's arrived. He said that once the desire is sealed in the subconscious, you must act, speak, and live as if it's already true, even without evidence, because your behavior after the technique is the real measure of how much you believe. Picture a farmer. He plants, waters, and knows there's a time for gestation. He doesn't question if it will work. He trusts the invisible process. In the same way, you must allow the quantum field, the subconscious, and the universe to do their part. This requires a profound shift in mindset, moving from lack into trust. Jacobo Grinberg explained that reality is shaped by structures of expectation. The more you expect something vibrationally, the more the field around you organizes itself to confirm that expectation. But the opposite is also true. If you expect things to go wrong, your subconscious will continue to reproduce that pattern. That's why letting go is not giving up. It's trusting. Letting go is silently declaring, "I've already done my part, now I receive." It's like releasing the request to the universe and no longer interfering with contradictory thoughts. This vibrational attitude of surrender is the final seal of the process. It proves the desire has been absorbed and that there is now inner space for it to grow. But what if doubt comes back? What then? Simple. Return to the feeling. Breathe. Bring the image to mind. Feel for a moment as if it's already happened. And let go again. The subconscious learns through repetition. Doubt is not failure. It's an invitation to reinforce faith. Keeping the desire light released with the certainty it's already on its way is like opening the doors of reality so it can bend to your new frequency. And the more natural this becomes, the more you align with what you want. Effortlessly, without pressure, without hurry. Just certainty. Now that you know the path, only one thing remains: to apply it. The breathing technique you've learned here is not just another tool. It is a key, and you can use it anytime, anywhere. Just 60 seconds a day, 1 minute of deep connection with the reality you want to live, 1 minute to feel, breathe, visualize, and seal. And after that, just trust. For the next 7 days, set aside this time. Lie down or sit in silence. Inhale the new reality. Exhale the doubts. Visualize clearly, feel intensely, and then let go. Let the universe act. Let your subconscious work for you. Believe me, change begins in the invisible before it appears in the physical world. And if you've made it this far, comment now. I breathe and I receive. This is not just engagement, it's a vibrational declaration. It's you affirming that something new is already in motion. And if this technique touched you in some way, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who also needs to plant a new future, because the universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to certainty, and yours has already been activated.